welcome to Northway. This is going to be a very exciting video. The Duke and the Duchess of Gloucester are here today. Well, the Duke and the Duchess don't have much in common, really. They are both Pacifics, so the wheel arrangement 462 is the same on both. They are both very powerful locomotives, Class 8 by the British Railways classification of power. I suppose it's not fair to say they haven't got much in common, because the Duke of Gloucester is very much a one-off, born of a disaster. The Harrow and Wealdstone disaster of 1952 resulted in the destruction of locomotive 46202 Princess Anne, which was a Stanier Princess class. Robert Robin Riddles designed the Duke of Gloucester, and it was built in 1954 in Crewe. Not well received when in service with British Railways. Didn't perform all that well. Various things which turned out to be improved, as I will tell you. It was actually a prototype for another class of very powerful Pacific locomotives for British Railways. But in 1955, 1 year after this locomotive was built, along came the modernisation plan, which involved no more steam. So the improvements to Duke of Gloucester were never carried out, and no more locomotives of this type were ever built. It ended up in Di Woodham's Barry scrapyard. Various bits had been removed to put into the museum, but in 1974 a group of enthusiasts bought it and decided they were going to rebuild it as new, which they did. It took them 12 years. And during the rebuilding, they discovered the chimney and the firebox inlet tubes had not been built to specifications, so they were built to an improved specification. And do you know what? It performed better than ever. When it was put into service in 1987, it steamed on the main line and actually turned out to be more powerful than the Class 4 English electric diesels, which had replaced it back in the 50s and 60s. In 2008, it went in for a service, and it's still being overhauled, very nearly ready. Here it is at Tyseley in 2019. But I think quite soon now it's going to be back in action. But it's certainly going to be in action here at Northway today. The Duchess of Gloucester was the first Duchess of the Stanier Princess Coronation Pacifics. It was the first red streamliner. The first 5 of the Princess Coronations were blue streamliners, and none of them were duchesses. There were other royalty at the time. Anyway, after the Duchess of Gloucester, There were another 9 duchesses, and eventually there were 38 Princess Coronation Pacifics built. Only 10 of them were duchesses, and somehow the class acquired the nickname the Duchesses. Kind of weird really, but that's what happened. Duchess of Gloucester was built in May 1938, and in June 1938, the Duchess of Buccleuch. The Duchess of Buccleuch was the first non-streamliner. But seeing as we've got the Duchess of Gloucester, we've got to get the Duchess of Buccleuch out as well, haven't we? And our 4th locomotive for today, seeing as we've got a royalty theme going on, is the Duke of Wellington's regiment. Now I know what you're about to say. That's a regiment which is not the same as a royal person. Okay, well, I'm stretching a point. But I just love the look of this Deltic. Superb livery. It's only a railroad, Hornby Railroad model, but it's just great, isn't it? I've discovered that these wonderful buffers, which somebody had fitted, actually stick out too much. And on the second radius curves we get buffer lock when the loco is going down the hill. So we're getting a lot of derailments. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do about that. Anyway, let's get them running, eh?